Hello, this is Hammersmith Chess Club, the junior hour in 5 minutes or so. This video is the summary of a session we had in June 2020 on Nigel Short, another British legend. The previous week we had seen Jonathan Spielmann. We see here that Nigel Short and Jonathan Spielmann dominated British chess and were playing a major role in world chess. Nigel Short, number 3 at one time in the world. He was an early chess prodigy. I personally saw him at the age of 9, but already at 12 he made headlines. And he still plays chess. He still likes it very much, be it in Bunratty every year. And he also plays a major role in chess politics. Vice President of the FIDE. In this video, we see 2 of his games, one as a junior and the other in his heydays. Here the first game, Nigel Short versus Richard Miles at the age of 11. Nigel Short has white, standard opening, though already after 5 moves his queen is out. That's what very often young, ambitious players do, playing aggressively. And move 6, the trademark, what some say the trademark of Nigel Short, the move pawn e4 to e5. In this case, not justified, objectively not justified. Now here, white had to continue with giving the queen 4, 3 light pieces and the initiative. But it was not sufficient. Black should have continued either bishop g4, bishop e6, or with c6 and d5 enclosing the center and the attack lines of white. Black committed a mistake by playing e6, even though it looks innocently, but the subsequent, maybe intention, d5 was not possible because of a possible knight sacrifice on d5 and the open e file for the rooks. So white built up the attack, positioned his pieces in the center, closer to the king, already attacking the major weakness e6 for a third time now with the rook. X-ray, king move to f7, critical. You don't defend usually your pieces with a king, especially in such an open position. And even though it might look as satisfying the defense, but of course white can, after having positioned his pieces on the best squares, can continue the attack with possible pawn levers. Cautious retreat of the bishop, staying on the long diagonal, and then the pawn lever. Of course, g5 and not h5. And of course, now the knight can jump into the beautiful outpost f6. You can capture h7. You do not have to. You can directly push another pawn lever, h5. Black has to take, because otherwise g6 will be taken. It's undefendable. Of course, g6 comes now with a g-pawn, with a check, and another check. The king is in the corner. White could have forced the mate after 8 moves or so with knight 4 to h5, but even then, with knight takes e6, black resigned because g7 check and mate can only be prevented with major material sacrifices. So, a beautiful win by the young Nigel Short in the real nice attacking style. And now a game of Nigel Short in 1991 against Jan Timman, one of the knockout matches for the proceedings to the World Championship I want to start the game here in this position where white allowed black to give him an isolated double pawn on the c file. Of course, now white has all the open diagonals and files and will, especially after bishop h6, exploit the dark squares of black. Making use of the undeveloped black pieces, bishop d7 might have equalized here, but black saw potential counteroffensive on the long diagonal, of course now preventing the white knight from moving forward, jumping to g5 because of the threat of mate on g2. It's a permanent threat until the end of the game. So, but white was able to indeed double the rooks on the d file. Now indeed the threat is to take on h6 and then to take the rook. So a rook retreat to an equally good position on the 7th rank, attacking potentially f7, so black proactively defended this. Now white took the defending bishop, the best piece of black, and started to completely dominate the dark squares. Probably the winning strategy was better to go to g5 along the h file and not to f6, but anyway, it was difficult for black to defend. h4 was not correct. Don't want to go into all the different lines, the potential best defense. Would have been better, as I said, to go along the h file, because now it was possible to stop indeed white's attack on the h file with h5. And this is now the start of a beautiful sequence, the sequence for which this game is important and is well known. King h4 might look like an innocent move of the king away from the first rank to avoid potential check on the first rank, but indeed what it is the ultimate attack, the attack by the king. Now black realized indeed that he had not considered this, and after king g5, anyway it was too late. Black could take on d7, but after king h6, the queen would mate on g7, not preventable anymore. What a beautiful king move by Nigel Short.